What's up, YouTube? It's your boy G Money. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. And this is another episode of Sidewalk Talk. Sometimes even when you win, you lose. Or you get yourself in a situation where you might have won in that situation, but now you got other things to worry about after that situation. For example, getting into an altercation in the street. Um, Back in the day, I say back in the days, like in the '90s, man, the early '90s, and I was a real little kid in the '80s, so I can't speak for the '80s, but like in the '90s, you know, little different neighborhoods, might have had little rivalries with each other or something like that, football games and stuff like that, or somebody might tackle somebody on the sidewalk or something, or get out of control, and then a fight break out, and then people would fight and then everybody would go home. Maybe y'all might not like each other from that day on, and when y'all saw each other again, maybe y'all would fight again. Or sometimes after a fight, people would break it up, and then boys would slap each other up, and that'd be it. They'd be friends. They might be the best of friends after that fight. That's how it used to be. Now, if you fight somebody now and you beat their ass, you got something to deal with after that, man. It's not going to be a friendly handshake. Once in a blue moon you might see two older generation people that know better, and or family members or something like that that might have gotten to it, and then they might be able to shake hands after or slap each other up. But majority of the time, not these days, if after a fight, the person that got laid out is coming back, and he's not coming back for a rematch. He coming back with some kind of pistol, with some kind of gun to get you up out of here, because his pride or whatever else, or whatever the case may be, his pride won't allow that to slide. Um, Especially if you don't whoop him in front of his girl or something like that. Oh my God, you really got an issue then. You know what I'm saying? Like, people pride won't allow them to take a L and say, hey, it was a one on one. He ain't used nothing. He got me. Nah, that's not how it go. People can't take a ass whooping no more, and most people scared to take a ass whooping, so that's why they keep a gun on them, just because they don't want to feel getting punched or getting their ass whooped or nothing. No, nobody want to get their ass whooped, but I mean, Jesus Christ, like, everybody first reaction is to want to kill somebody now if somebody hop out ready to fight. So even when you win, you lose. It's almost like, y'all remember the movie Menace to Society? Homeboy came over there trying to defend his cousin, because Kane cut her off, talking about the baby wasn't his. So homeboy goes over there to Kane neighborhood ready to fight. Kane beat his ass, and now he done went back, called his homeboys up. Now they in the car with ski masks on, spinning the block, trying to, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and it's real. You know what I'm saying? You whoop somebody's ass out here in these streets, man. You really have to keep your head on a swivel after that. If you don't, and that puts you in a tough situation, because if you know that in your mind, like, this dude is gonna come back looking for me, and he's gonna come back trying to kill me, Now just imagine in your mind you thinking about that like, damn, I need to end this shit. But you can't do that because then you're going to go to jail for murder. You know what I'm saying? Because you shouldn't be. They gonna look at it like you murdered them. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have murdered them. But at the same time, in your mind, and we know how the streets work. We know once this dude able to recover, and if he catches me slipping and I don't see him, he gonna try to take my head off. So it puts you in a bad situation. That's why I said you might win that fight, but later on, now you gotta every day you step outside, you gotta worry about running back into this person, and he's not coming back with his hands. He coming back with something in his hands. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about that when you get into these altercations with people, man, because the fight don't end. That the fight is not over. The battle, the war is not over after that day. Once you don't whoop that person ass, it's not over unless you don't beat the shit out of him so good that he's scared to death and don't want to ever see you again. But 9 times out of 10, a motherfucker get a hold of a gun, you know, that's going, that could change a lot of things on how they feel. They confidence in approaching you or trying to come back at you. You got to be careful out here, man. And that's the thing I said when I had a video where I said the reason why I decided to carry, and the reason why I decided to carry was because I used to always be worried about, damn, if we get into a fight out here, is somebody gonna run to their car and grab their gun, or pull out a gun in the middle of the fight, or I used to always be worried about that. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the main reasons why I said, it's time for me to go get my concealed carry because I need to not be worried about not being able to defend myself if something happens and somebody happens to pull out a weapon and I'm weaponless. Well, that's the reason why I decided to carry because I didn't want to be caught slipping in a situation where right now the whole world is carrying, you know. And like I said, I got caught slipping coming out of a store and had a gun pointed to my head. So I know how that feel. You know what I'm saying? I done went down. I done got caught slipping. And that's the reason why I try to give y'all this advice so it won't happen to y'all. Because I know how that shit feel. That's one of the worst feelings in the world for a man to have to hand over his belongings or some shit to another man, especially somebody that not on your level. If you ain't had that gun in your hand, you'll beat the brakes off their ass. You know what I'm saying? So that right there, I said I can't never let that happen again. But also, like I said before, the gun just part of the problem. The other part of the problem was I was slipping. I didn't have my head on the swivel. I was too confident in thinking that because I was in my neighborhood, nothing could happen to me. And I learned a valuable lesson that night. You know what I'm saying? So just because you on home base, don't think that somebody from somewhere else, can't run down on you. You know what I'm saying? And jump in their car and be out real quick. You know what I mean? You gotta really keep your head on swivel at all times, whether you're away or at home. You gotta be alert at all times. It don't matter. It could be one of your peoples that set you up. You know what I mean? That's why you gotta always stay on point. Always. So this one right here is really about, man, you know, be careful, man, because it don't end after you world star somebody, after you knock somebody ass out, and they getting up off the ground and people taking pictures and recording and posting it up on the internet. Now they you know what I'm saying? What you think they gonna do? What you think going through their mind? Everybody they waking up, everybody standing over them like, damn. You know what I'm saying? If he can remember you, that would be one of the things I'll be trying to do in a fight. Like I'm trying to put a you know what, I ain't gonna say that on here, but I will want to make it where he can't remember me. I'll just say it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because if they can remember you and remember how you look and everything, believe me, man, 9 times out of 10 they coming back and they coming back with something in their hand to try to get some kind of revenge because their ego is crushed. So y'all be careful, man. Don't be thinking that after you whoop somebody's ass, it's over. You know, the softest, the softest dude out there, the scariest dude out there with a weapon in their hand can turn into Bishop off juice. You know what I'm saying? You give the right person a gun, or the wrong person, I should say, a gun, and shit that could completely change a person on how they move and how they feel You know, now they got the confidence to approach the person that they were scared of. You know what I'm saying? So y'all gotta really be thoughtful of that. If you getting into a situation, know that if that situation, if that person is able to get up and walk away after it, you gotta know that now you have somebody that you have to watch out for. It ain't over. It's not necessarily over. You got somebody that you gotta watch out for. So I'm not gonna make this video too much longer. But this your boy G Money, and my brother's keeper. Yes, I am. And this is another episode of Sidewalk Talk. God bless y'all. I'm out.